Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Jumriani Ulling, Class B 2008. In this moment, I want to simulation seminar proposal. The title is The Teacher's Strategy in Learning Speaking During the COVID Pandemic-19 at Senior High School 2 of Majene by Nurul Inayah. Chapter 1 Introduction. A background. In this phenomenon, the researcher chose the title of this study because the researcher had conducted interviews with two students at Senior High School of Majene about learning English in this pandemic era, and they answered that they were only doing assignments in learning English in this pandemic era. Cameron 2001 mentions that speaking is the active use of language to express meaning, so that other people can make sense of them. To speak in their foreign language in order to share understanding with other people requires adaptation to prejudice the source of their language. J.R. David defines strategy as a planned method, a series of activities designed to achieve a particular educational goal. In Juni 2007, problem identification. Problems that arise due to the COVID-19 pandemic have a significant impact on the world of education, with the regulation from the Minister of Education regarding online learning, so students learn to study at home or code bravely. This is an obstacle in English subject in the aspect of speaking skills to teachers and students. So the teacher must find an effective strategy used in learning speaking skills. Research focus. Number 1. What is the teacher's strategy in teaching speaking during the COVID-19 pandemic? What are the challenges in teaching speaking online? The research objective. Number 1. This study aims to describe and identify how teacher strategies in teaching speaking and to assist teachers in developing and finding new strategies for teaching speaking online in the future. Number 2. This study aims to determine what challenges are faced by teaching speaking online. Research benefit. This is research benefits because it will help a teacher and students in the learning process both during the pandemic and in normal times. The teachers will use more technology and existing media to help the learning process, and students will also be motivated by this media-based learning, and the researcher can express their ideas in solving the current phenomenon. Chapter 2 Literature Review. Section A. Some previous studies. Number 1. Muammar Gaddafi 2021. In this research entitled Learning English in Child at Songkom Islam with his school during the COVID-19 pandemic. Rizky Amalia Soliha 2020. In her research entitled Practice of Learning Speaking Skills During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Number 3. Putu Eka Damayana Saputra, Putu Karti Nityas, made Sutya Pramatis it his research entitled English Online Classes in Pandemic Period, a Learning Challenge. Number 4. Tari Putri Utami 2020. In her research entitled and analysis of teacher strategy and on English learning classes during the COVID-19 pandemic. Number 5, Agung Ginanjar Anjarni Putra 2030. In his research entitled Teacher Strategy in Teaching Speaking to Students at Secondary Level. Salah-salah buntu. Next, theoretical framework. Furthermore, the process of learning online speaking. This section have two sections. For the first section is strategy for teaching speaking teacher online, and the second section the challenge of the teacher in teaching speaking online, the achievement of objective learning. Chapter 3, Research Method. The section A, Research Type and Design. Type, Qualitative Research Method. Design, Descriptive Design. For section B, Research to Schedule and Location. Time, will conduct research in the semester of academic years 2020 and until 2021 from April until and the 7th time. Location will conduct at Senior High School of Jumriani. The section C, Data Source. For the first, primary date and secondary date. Research instrument. For the first, observation. The second, interview. The third, vignette. And the fourth, document. Bagian Astagfirullah salah kan. Section E, Date Validate Test Technique. In this research, the research will be triangulation. In this case, the research will triangulate that source to check the credibility of the data and collect data, because by triangulating this data source, the research will check and recheck the result of observations, interview, and document. Data Analysis Technique. Miles and Huberman, Sigiona 2011, 81, suggests that there are three steps in data analysis, namely that for the first, reissuing that date, for the second, display date, and the last, verification. So I think enough from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.